Parents are an extension of their children. Does that mean they're gonna live the same life? Like father, like son. Today, I'm gonna tell you how I overcame my worst fear. Let's go.
Like diamonds, I'm watching how you glow.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy AJ here, coming through your TV screen, your phone screen, your laptop screen, and beyond. Wait for it. How you bloody doing, mate? Did I ever tell you I love you? First, let's just get that out. Did I ever tell you I love you? In case you didn't know, now you do. Okay, so we're slicing and we dicing the menu today. I want to have a conversation that is quite a tricky one because there's a lot of angles to kind of sort of tackle it from, but obviously I want to give you it from my own personal experience, and I think that's the best way for me to tackle it. You're on your own journey, so obviously you're gonna have to tackle it in your own unique way, but I want to talk about my worst fear ever and how I overcame that fear. But first I gotta tell you the fear, right? Alright, here we go. So if you don't know, if you haven't seen all the other videos, my dad died when I was 5. My dad died in a very brutal car accident. One accident so brutal that he died immediately on impact, on the spot. Poof, there goes his life. As I said, I was 5 at the time. I didn't quite know, and you're not expected to know at that age how to process that sort of thing. So from then on, as I grew older, different things start to weigh over me. One thing in particular was I had the fear that I was going to die the same death as my dad. Now, you're probably gonna think that's bizarre. I wouldn't blame you if you did, because it does sound bizarre. Like, why would you think you're gonna be the same? Yeah, I get it. Here's the thing. Me processing all the different things that I had to experience as a person, that was one of my ways of trying to battle it out in my head. I had a serious, genuine fear that I was going to die the same death as my father. In an extension of that fear, I also had a thought that I was going to put the person that I'm going to marry or have a family with in the same position as my mom ended up in after my father died. That is a genuine fear that I had when I was a child. It was something that weighed over me for years. I didn't overcome it until recently, and when I say recently, I mean when I got my driver's license. So when I came to America and I got my driver's license was when I had to, by force, make myself get over that fear. How did I do it? I drove. And I got into my first car accident. It's weird. I know. Bear with me. How does a car accident help you overcome a fear of that magnitude? Like, for years, I've been walking and tiptoeing a certain line because, one, to be honest, what got me in that space to begin with is because I wanted to be like my father. My father was a businessman. He was, if I'm not mistaken, a branch manager. He was very well thought out. He carried himself properly. He did the regular things the average person would strive to be. He carried himself in that way. Was very professional, but very charismatic too. The thing about that is I wanted to be like him. But somewhere in my head, I thought if me wanting to live like him, because he's my father and I looked up to him, would mean I would have to die like him. Somewhere in my head, struggling with that fear along with all the different things that I had to deal with as a person, the anxiety, the depression, all of those things bottled up, I came to the chain of thought that to live like him would mean I would have to die like him. How did I? Obviously, this is not what my father intended to be doing with his life, nor is my life anything like his, which brought me to the point of overcoming that fear. So I drove, I got into my first car accident, and then upon realizing that I actually got into a car accident and I looked death in the face, I realized that it's something you can't avoid. I was afraid to die in that way because I was afraid in general to die. It was a fear that I have. I feared death for a very long time. And getting into that car accident for the first time made me put myself in the position of accepting that death is a part of life. Crazy, I know. But it was a unique situation fitting to combat a unique fear. So when you put those two, strangely, in that moment from that accident, I sat in that car after the fact and I talked and I walked and I guided myself through the fear. I have this saying, in order to be fearless, in order to become fearless, fear has to be present. And that that little unique scenario helped me in the biggest way. Now there's another side to this, because overcoming that fear made me understand something called destiny. But wait, before we get to that conversation, I want to give you a little walkthrough of what the environment is like out here. So I'm one with nature, and I love nature, and I want you to soak up the scenery with me. So we're gonna take a little stroll, and then on the other side of that, we will continue this very intriguing conversation. I'll be right back.
Baby, I need it and I ain't shy. With my lips all on you. Your style so luscious and that's no lie. I'll match that swagger. Your waistline grooving and you so fly. Shabba like a dagger. A perfect picture is you and I. Them them haters stagger. Baby, you be so fine, and I love the way you whine. You flex and keep me in line, so lock and key be your mind. I love the way you shine, and I wanna wine and dine. Baby, you had me at hello. Baby, you had me at hello. I'm going anywhere you go. Sexy, baby, wanna smash it on the low. Like diamonds, I'm watching how you glow. Baby, you had me at hello. I'm going anywhere you go. I wanna smash it on the low. Like diamonds, I'm watching how you glow.
Like father, like son, like son, like father. Parents are an extension of their children, and children are an extension of their parents. Formulate that, and you come up with another word they call destiny. Okay. So, I for a very long time was of the mind that I am destined for a certain path in life. I'm destined to do certain things. I'm destined to be certain things. I'm just destined for a certain destiny. Thing about that, when I overcame that fear, there's something that also happened pertaining to destiny. I realized that in addition to having no control or having no control over my life, my father's life, my father's death, my death, having no control over those things also meant that I don't necessarily have complete control over destiny either. It's kind of sort of why it's destiny, right? You're not meant to control it. You're just meant to follow. In that moment of overcoming that fear, I also realized that if I was destined to live and die like my father, there's nothing I could have done to change that. If that was where my life was destined to go. But it's not. It's not. In that moment, I realized that. In that moment, I realized that trying to replicate someone that has been missing from my life for years was not going to fix what was internally wrong in here. Trying to replicate someone that was missing from my life for years was not going to change where I'm destined to go. What can change, what I have control over, is what my life and what my mind should go. I hope I just said that right. What I have control over is where I want my life to go. What I have control over is where I want my mind to be. With persistence, with precision, with accuracy, those things are possible. What I don't have control over is the final destination. Sometimes it's better to remove that fear of living your life in fear and just live. I don't want to sound arrogant or naive, so I'm not gonna try to make it sound as easy, because it's not easy to just live. There are a lot of things that stop us or hinder us from living in our skins comfortable, and I get that. It's been a trial and error for me, so I know for a fact it's most definitely trial and error for all of you. But this is my story and I wanted to share it with you. And I honestly, that word destiny is something that it in a sense, the word actually strikes fear in me, in a sense, because what I want for myself might not be what I'm destined for, and that's where the fear comes in. But I'm working on also overcoming said fear. Even if those two things don't line up, I have to understand that that's just the way life works. So, with that, interesting conversation. Interesting. I told you it was interesting, right? With that said, as I walk you through the outro of this video, I want to tell you I love you. Okay? These are the things that make me who I am. And as the plane flies over my head, I want you to know all the things that make you who you are. Just accept them. Even if you're afraid of them, accept them. Accepting them is the only way you can steer, change, overcome, or even live with who you are. I love you guys so much. I don't even know some of you, but I love you. Just because. With that said, it's your boy AJ. I'm signing out. Right? You catch me. I'm going out. I'm doing something dramatic right now. You see that? You see that? I love you.